Hi, and welcome to the Fairy Godmothers Pod of Wisdom and Knowledge. I'm Reverend Elizabeth Howell, and my co-host is...
Oh, the Mistress of Mayhem, that's Reverend Cynthia here.
Well, welcome. And those who are tuning in for the first time, thank you for tuning in. And those that are continuing to follow us, thanks for tuning back in. And please share and like and tell your friends all about our podcast. And today we don't have a guest, which is just fine. We're going to talk about meteorites because there was a meteorite that hit through Medina County, debris all over Sharon Center, and I was fortunate enough to get a small piece of that meteorite.
I'm jealous.
Yeah, just a small, tiny, itty piece.
Still more than I was able to find.
And I wanted to share about meteorites today. But first, and then we're going to go into affirmations, talk a little bit about those, which I think is a hot topic.
Affirmations and mirror work, they kind of go together.
Yeah.
I've known a few people going through some stuff that I really think some mirror work could help them.
So this is going to be an informational and educational podcast today.
Yes, we're going to be talking stuff.
Yeah, so we're going to start out here. I'm going to jump right into the Cosmic Traffic Report for the first half of May. So starting out, of course, May 1st will be the full moon, and that'll be the full moon at 11 degrees Scorpio. Now, normally the first full moon of May is considered also Wesak, which is considered the Buddha's celebration or the Buddha's birthday. So I have to double check on that, but I do believe that will be Wesak as well. So the first full moon, May 1st, that will be at 1:23 p.m. Also, May is going to be a blue moon month. So we have the first full moon, May 1st, and then there'll be a second full moon, May 31st. So we're going to heads up for people who like to do things with full moons and blue moons, like make blue moon water or bless your sea salt or things like that.
Yeah, make holy water.
Make holy water. This would be a month. It's a blue moon month. So there you go, a blue moon. May 2nd, Mercury, the planet of communication, understanding. Mercury will move into the sign of Taurus at 10:56 p.m. So with the planet of communication now moving into a more stubborn energy, we may find ourselves to be more defined in our likes and dislikes in our thinking. Also, we may have a harder time changing our minds. We may have our mental focus may be more conservative, a little bit more constrictive, but also constructive. And the emphasis will be more on traditional ways and means of getting things done through our thoughts. This is a good time for managing in general and managing our money, managing our businesses, and putting things together, managing our activities. This is good for the Tauruses, rough for the Scorpions, and challenging for the Aquarians and the Leos. Now, May 4th, Mars will square the planet Jupiter at 19 degrees, and that will be an Aries Cancer square. That'll be at 10:08 p.m. So Mars, which is the planet of action, will square or challenge the planet of good luck and timing. This will bring in a kind of an energy to the whole day, evening and into the next day. It'll kind of be the planet of, it would be like an energy of difficult and misdirected energies, kind of like a foot on the brake and a foot on the gas. We'll be kind of feeling the energies going up and down, right and left. So into the evening, a lot of impulsive energies, misunderstandings, maybe some headbutting with other people. Also the next day, sporadic energy, bursts of energies doing something and then just stopping altogether and dropping what we're doing. So we want to kind of stay consistent with our thoughts and our actions on that day and kind of try to follow through with something that you've started, kind of follow through and finish. This will be challenging for the Aries, the Cancers, the Libras, and the Capricorns. Now, on May 5th, Mercury will square Pluto at 5 degrees. That's a Taurus Aquarius square. And that will be at 6:08 p.m. Now, this transit brings in an incisive energy, kind of tell it like it is. We're gonna tell it like it is.
Oh boy, that'll get us into trouble.
Yeah, the energy and that for that whole day. So we're going to start out in that morning and that evening and go all into the next day for the following day, May 6th. So we may find it hard to balance ourselves mentally, our minds, to find that balance within our minds. We might find our minds zipping around from zealousness to just pessimism. So this is a time of just meditate, breathe, not to jump to conclusions, don't knee-jerk things.
Stop and take a breath before you do anything, say anything, think anything.
Correct. So this is challenging for the Tauruses, the Scorpios, the Aquarians, and the Leos. And May 6th, Pluto will begin its retrograde. Now, retrograde is not necessarily the planet actually moving backwards. It's the planet appears to move backwards due to the Doppler effect. That is, that the Earth is passing it in its orbit. So Pluto will retrograde at 5 degrees Aquarius at 11:34 a.m. And it will maintain its backwards motion until October 16th. So basically, it's going to revisit everybody that it has visited since October of 2025. So yay! Hello! Enjoy! And finally, May 14th, the Sun will conjunct Mercury at 23 degrees Taurus at 10:24 a.m. Now, this transit will bring in a very forceful and ambitious energy to the day. We may feel very determined to get our way. Our way or the highway may be the attitude for the day. Egos may become challenged, as does so lots of headstrong opinions. Anger may go on a slow boil, so watch out. People may kind of boil all day and then kind of like really explode towards the evening. Not a good time to get into, in flexes with your bosses or with your parents or anybody in authority. It's a good time to kind of keep it down. This is good for the Tauruses, though, because this is good, strong energy for the Tauruses, a lot of creativity for them. But don't overdo it, Tauruses. But Tauruses really don't overdo it. But it's rough for the Scorpios, and it's challenging for the Leos and the Aquarians. So that is the Cosmic Traffic Report for the first half of May of 2026. So what's going on with our animals?
Well,
animals.
I've had Spider visit me a few times, but I'm still trying to sit with that energy before I bring that up. So I reverted to my pulling a card, and the card that I pulled was for the bee, which is kind of interesting because I have neighbors that are beekeepers and they sell honey and all kinds of good stuff. So, but that's just an aside. With the bee energy, though, my take on what's going on is that the bee energy is about opening to the sweetness of life while always also keeping things ordered and productive. Bee reminds us that sweetness alone is not enough. We also need structure, effort, and consistency. The hive only works because each bee fulfills its own role. A chaotic hive becomes unhealthy and may not survive. Bee energy can be a reminder to bring our order to our lives, our homes, our schedules, and our priorities. Bee also teaches us to focus on our own work. Each bee has a specific purpose within the hive and does not waste energy worrying about what others are doing, or that are they doing their job. We are often most effective when we stay focused on our own tasks instead of comparing ourselves to others. At its core, bee energy reflects productivity, purpose, and community. It reminds us that even small efforts matter when they contribute to something greater than itself. Now, when I look at what others have to add to that, the bee symbolism is strongly tied to community, communication, teamwork, industriousness, some of the big words I stumble over, dedication, loyalty, and reward. Bees are often seen as symbols of prosperity, good fortune, and success that comes through effort. They are also connected to the cycles of birth, death, and rebirth because of their role in pollination and sustaining life. Bee energy may appear during important or momentous occasions such as weddings, birth, childbirth, major tests, or life transitions. Bee energy encourages us to follow our dreams, but also to prepare ahead and expect the unexpected. The bee is both hopeful and practical. Bees also hold a deep connection to feminine energy. They can symbolize the goddess, the queen, motherhood, home, cooperation, creativity, and future generations. I always want to think about what's going to be good down the line. The structure of the hive reflects both leadership and nurturing. The bee is also connected with sacred geometry through the honeycomb. The hexagonal pattern represents balance, beauty, efficiency, and divine order. But like everything, there is a shadow side. And the shadow side of bee energy can appear as gossip, competition, or becoming too focused on what other people are doing instead of staying focused on our own tasks. It may also show up as disorganization, scattered thinking, mindless internal chatter, or the inability to stay on task. Rather than productive movement, bee energy in shadow can become frantic busyness without direction. Bee energy can also become overly sensitive or defensive, causing someone to attack quickly when they feel they're being attacked or threatened or criticized. At its most extreme, the shadow side becomes workaholism. This can look like taking on too much, never slowing down, refusing to say no even when you should, and sacrificing rest in the name of productivity. Bee energy reminds us that work is important, but so is balance.
I love bees.
Yeah, there's a lot going on with bees and the beehive.
Yeah. Well, this is an important year for bees because
Yeah, we've had several years of bees not surviving the
Right.
winter or diseases and parasites going on. It's been a really hard time for bees.
yeah, hopefully your neighbors will have honey this year.
Hopefully, I mean,
Yeah.
because they get hives sometimes from getting hives that are in somebody's house or a building or a tree or something. They're trying to nest there where they don't need to be, and they go in and actually extract the bees. It's really pretty cool.
Oh, good for them. Good for them. I once saw a wild hive move from, I'm sorry, that caught me itching. A wild hive move from my woods.
We're human.
Go across, I was out walking on my road and a wild hive was going from the woods, and I've never seen it before ever. You see it like maybe on nature programs, but it was the massive bees flying and going into a tree and just gathering all together. I was like, whoa. That was pretty amazing.
I would love to see something like that for myself. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah, that was a once in a lifetime. So cool. Well, we will contemplate on those bees.
Yeah. So we look at the rocks that you've been. Everybody we're here in Northeast Ohio, but there's pretty much everybody's been keeping an eye out for comet pieces.
Yeah. So in Medina, we received windfall of parts of a comet that fell, meteorite that splayed or broke up. Actually, it felt like it broke up over my house, and then the pieces fell.
A lot of people said it sounded like an explosion, like a bomb going off.
Yeah, shook my house, and then the pieces, they say the debris field kind of fell over more to the east of me. So it was more like Sharon Center, Rittman, that area, that kind of like 94, 57 area of Medina County. And right away, people from all over the United States, people from out of the country came in to meteorite hunt. And so there was a big, people everywhere. So when I went out hunting the first day, is when I found my piece, and I was very lucky to find it because by now it's been a few weeks,
it's
months.
Pretty well picked
and
over.
It's been picked over, and of course now it's spring, and there's mowing and there's plowing, and who knows what'll happen. But I was very fortunate to find a piece So that is this piece right here, this tiny little piece. There we go. And I found that, fortunately, it was on a piece of concrete next to a building, because they said the first thing they said is look for something that might bounce off of a building onto like something where you can find easily, which is what I did. I was not trespassing, so basically it was public property where I was at. And I would also encourage people that if you do go out, do not trespass. Give permission to be,
Yes,
if it
always.
is private property. You should not be on somebody's property. There's been a big controversy that's been going on in Medina County, as a gentleman found a big chunk of meteorite, and it was on the Morton Salt property, and they're suing him.
Really?
Yeah, they want their meteorite, and so he's in court now because
wow.
he trespassed onto their property. So again, there's a big caution. So why are people so crazy about meteorites, right? Why do we love them?
Why are they?
I think for centuries, or hundreds, maybe thousands of years, people have been intrigued by rocks coming from the sky, right? Rocks from the sky. What does it mean?
Is it manna from heaven?
Manna from heaven. Even the Chinese worshipped rocks that came, fell from the sky. And we also know that in the Muslim, Islamic tradition, the holy, what is it that, the holy orb that is in their most sacred in Mecca is actually a meteorite. So is something that they fell to earth. They said if it was the eye of God or something like that. Don't quote me because I could be wrong. I'm not 100%. But so humans have been intrigued by meteorites, and there's several different types of meteorites there are. There's the nickel iron that we hear about, where people have made swords out of, and people have used to mold into other objects. Then there are what they call the chondrite meteorites, which are more glass, that are more minerals. And then you have more of they call the phallicite, which is more of like a glass, lighter meteorites. All of them do correspond, though, to the third eye, to the throat chakra, and to the crown chakra. Some of them do activate, metaphysically speaking, they activate a more metaphysical, spiritual opening. But the biggest one of all, is the stone that everyone loves to talk about is moldavite. Moldavite is my personal favorite.
Yeah, every time you're reading, you've got it around your neck, or you're doing something important.
This is my piece. Oops, here, I gotta, all right, that's good. This is good. Okay, so this is my piece of moldavite, and I had it turned into a necklace. It looks like a feather. I wear this all the time. I brought several pieces that are over here. I don't know if we can, that's okay. Moldavite is a green stone. It is a specific pocket in Czechoslovakia. And when the moldavite crashed into the earth, there we go. Yeah, you can see it. Now, next to that, the yellow stone is called Liberian glass, and that is also a meteorite tektite. That moldavite what's fascinating about moldavite. It has a hardness of 6, so it can be
it's a Mohn scale.
On the Mohn scale, and so it can be cut and cabbed. So that's what's really nice about it, and so can Liberian glass. A lot of meteorites are too soft to be cut and cabbed and worn. Moldavite can be cut into gemstone quality. In fact, the ring I have on is a moldavite ring. This is cut into, there we go. So it's cut. I love moldavite because it activates not only the third eye and the crown chakra, it activates and opens up all the chakras, and it activates what we call connecting to your higher consciousness. People are going, moldavite, the prices of moldavite have gone exponentially up. And
because it comes from a certain place, there's a limited amount of it, is that right?
And that is true. It is a limited amount. Moldavite, when when the meteorite itself came into the earth, it hit the crust and created, the crust was still more or less liquid. So when it hit the crust of the earth, this is like, we're talking, I don't know, half a billion years ago or whatever, it split up into the air and then fell back down. So pieces came, what they call spillay pieces came back down, and it took on a glass-like quality. So this is what was so special about moldavite. It has been attributed for its healing properties, its gemstone properties. Kings and queens throughout the ages have had moldavite used in their crowns and their crown jewels. Queen Elizabeth has a piece of moldavite as big as that in her main crown.
Oh, really?
Yes, it was gifted to her family, I guess, in the 1600s from, one of the Bavarian kings at that time. So moldavite is considered it also is highly rare. It's hard to obtain, and there's a very limited or finite amount on the planet. Not like diamonds, not like some other gemstones that are considered precious, but they're not.
Yeah, they're very common, actually.
Now, Liberian glass is a little bit more obtainable. It is from a meteorite that crashed in Liberian desert, and it molded in with
the sand.
The sand. So that's why it has that light yellow color. And that has been found actually. The Liberian glass, the stones have been cut into scarabs. They've been found a lot of mummies, jewelry in Egypt they were very fond of that gemstone. So I love I'm getting more and more into the meteorites. I have a few other pieces, but those are my favorite though, and I love the Liberian glass because to me it has the same vibration as moldavite, and I love the moldavite. That is my favorite stone to go to. A lot of people are like, oh, I've seen on TikTok, be scared and because it'll change your life if you're not ready, and I'm like, what? I've never heard that, but so don't listen to everything you hear on TikTok or YouTube. Moldavite, if you're attracted to it, use it. It's will open up your crown chakra. It will open up where you have blocks. That is maybe what people are afraid of. If you are blocked in a certain area in your life, it's going to open it up. It's going to open up those blocks. It's going to rebalance you. And it more than anything opens you to your higher consciousness. And it's considered what we call the spiritual holy grail. Like it opens you up to that energy, I guess, to whatever the higher consciousness. To me, it brings in that peace. It's a very peaceful stone. With the Medina meteorite, if you can get a piece of that stone, I would suggest it. They're asking some outrageous prices for it. They are asking $1,000 a gram.
Oh, wow.
That's more than moldavite. So,
that's crazy.
Wait
till next year, and it won't be that much. Probably.
I don't know because they're asking it and they're getting it, and that's the whole thing.
Wow. Well, yeah. If you're gonna get it, then why not ask for it?
So the Medina's meteorite, the properties I have felt off of it have been very high vibrational, though.
Are we going to name it Medinarite?
Medinarite? Yeah. Medinavite.
Medinavite. That's
Medinavite. I like that. So that's my, meteorite, information right now. So if you get moldavite, get it. If not, there are some other wonderful stones out there. You don't have to spend a ton of money. You can get, some other types of meteorites.
Well, I have a couple pieces of tektite, which is a meteorite type.
Probably iron-based.
I believe so, but it's very reasonably priced.
Yeah, the iron nickel.
And very common in the stone stores that we have around here. Yeah. Okay, so we want to move on then to, I'd like to address mirror work real quick. It's very simple. I've been talking with some people that I think can really benefit from it. It's also very much tied into affirmations. But in a nutshell, what the mirror work is about is talking to yourself in your subconscious. And it's called mirror work because you use a mirror. It doesn't have to be a huge mirror. It can be any mirror. It can be your bathroom mirror. It can be your compact mirror like this. But what it is that you look at yourself in your eyes, you look yourself in the eyes and you tell yourself all the wonderful things you would tell anybody else in your situation. All right, if you're doing the best of you can and thinking that it's just not enough, look yourself in the eyes and go, you're doing the best you can, especially under these situations. You are a wonderful person. I love you. Very strong things. Like I said, anything that you would tell somebody else, tell yourself, tell your subconscious. And when we look at affirmations as being part of what you tell yourself, affirmations are really just positive statements that you keep around. You can write them on a note card and tack them onto your mirror, and then read that to yourself when you're looking at your eyes. 7 steps to affirmations. This is off of a little pamphlet that I have available. If you come to our psychic fair, I always have them available. This information did come to me from another fair. Unfortunately, it was so many years ago, I don't remember who I got it from, nor did they have their information on it. So I don't put down that this is my information, that I'm providing it to you, but it came to me for free, so I pass it on for free. But the 7 steps for doing an affirmation is like you set your goals. What is it that you want to accomplish? If you're doing mirror work, your goal is to talk to yourself, to uplift yourself, to love yourself. All right, then you can conceive your goal clearly in your mind, every detail. Write your goal down on paper so that it's consistent. And if you need to adjust it later, then you can write a new statement. Then, visualize your goal already completed. You always think of it being now. Your goal is now. You have it, so you can be thankful that you've already got it. If it's always someplace out in the future, it will never get here. So we have to start from a point of it's here now. All right, focus in on it. Focus on it often. And then give it positive energy. You don't think about, get it written down and this is so stupid. We don't want to go there. And then you feel the buoyancy of accomplishment and success. So this has some very nice affirmations already done on it, but it also has instructions on how to create your own. But the basis of it is really about talking to yourself in a positive way, the same way you would talk to anybody else. Write it down, give it power, give it meaning, read it to yourself, look yourself in the eye, and tell yourself all the wonderful things that you want for yourself and that you are worthy and able to do this, that it is done, so mote it be.
Mm-hmm. Very good. Well, we're coming to the end of the show.
Yeah, we talked stuff today.
We did. So use those affirmations, please, because it's really proven that it rewires your brain.
It does. It does.
And it rewiring your brain. And I just watched a video about that. And this guy has whole new terms about it, but the rewiring the whole situation.
Yeah,
in
the
your,
synapses.
Yeah, the synapses. Yeah.
And it doesn't happen overnight. I mean, we try to do it as if it is now, but it doesn't happen overnight. And I will admit that when you start the mirror work, you're going to feel kind of stupid talking to yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, the first week or so, I felt really stupid, but then I actually started to feel the difference after that. So then it's you get to really feel that deep love for yourself.
Well, thanks for tuning in and love us. All right. Tune back in again for the Fairy Godmothers Pod of Wisdom and Knowledge. I'm Reverend Elizabeth Howell. You can catch me on Facebook. You can catch me online. And we have our web Gmail. And get hold of us. And you are?
Oh, I'm Reverend Cynthia, Mistress of Mayhem here.
Yeah. Fairy Godmothers Pod, Wisdom and Knowledge on Facebook.
See you.